Yo, what's up with it? It's your boy Noonie. It's Leo in the third house, and we back with another read.
Yo, what's up with it? This your boy Noonie, and it's Leo in the third house, back with another reading. This is gonna be a pick a card reading. We're gonna be asking the question: what would happen if they seen you out with someone else? Yeah, man, it's almost like some Jerry Springer stuff going on right now in the tarot world. So I want to see. I thought this would be like exciting. Someone suggested this. Oh, dad, girl, I forgot your name, man. I forgot your name because Queen of the South. Is it Queen of the South? I think that was it. I hope I got it right. But anyway, it was a good suggestion because that came through. So that must be exciting. Let's just see what happens here. I was so curious too. I said, yeah, that would be something. Like, you know what I mean? Like me, like I know how I would act if I see you out with somebody else. But I always wondered like what would someone else do if they see me out with somebody else? So, this is this is definitely something that piqued my interest here. Because I never thought to think about that. So I'm glad you suggested that. I'm really excited to see what happens here because that it really piqued my curiosity. So thank you for that. Um, as always, thanks to those people who be liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, getting involved. I think that's it for right now. Yeah, that's about it. You know what I mean? But look, boom, take a look at these piles. I got new crystals. Ooh, these are new. I picked these up one day on a whim, so take a look at them. This is Picasso something. Picasso. I think it might be Picasso Obsidian. And then this one is Serpentinite. And then this one is Venuvianite. And then this one is Mahogany Obsidian. Yep. But anyway, I'm sure you've seen the picture. It went through the screen. So anyway, 4 piles. This will be pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4. I'm going to get started over here with pile 1. All right. Boom, pile 1. So, pile 1. What would happen if they seen you out with someone else? Okay, so you could be this sign, or you could be dealing with this sign or these signs. All right, so we got Sagittarius, Gemini, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and Virgo again, and Capricorn again. So maybe you know 2 Capricorns, maybe you know 2 Virgos. All right, but anyway, if they were to see you out with someone else, they would act kind of distant. All right, but this would trigger that person to heal. All right, they would probably want to step up and heal the situation. Oh, okay, all right, all right. This would cause them to heal for sure. All right, so they would heal ancestral patterns because they would make them want to step up. All right, there'd be a change in the dynamic. There would be a change in the wind. Okay, someone would step up. All right, so someone would get more confidence and be wanting to really work together. Okay, because you got the will here with confidence. Someone would be bold and really want to work together. All right, they would want to network. Okay, what they would probably want to do is they would think on it deeply. All right, because you got the Hermit and the Ace of Swords, so they would think on it deeply, and they would think on their next few words that they would say to you. So they would want to communicate to you, but they wouldn't want to keep their feelings hidden anymore. They would want to, really express them. Like they wouldn't really want to keep their cards hidden anymore. They'd want to express that you're happy, or they'd want to, they might do 2 things. So one, they might want to think about what they're going to say to you, because they would want to win you back over. Like that's because I got the 7 of Swords here. So they would want to win you back over by some way. They would probably analyze the situation of how they can win you back over, because they would also put on a facade or put on a front as if they're happy alone, or if they're just happy where they are, like a state of peace, as if they're unbothered. We got the Nine of Cups, but the Nine of Cups, she looks like, she's unbothered, you know what I mean? And then here, the thoughts that they have is, I don't want to fight anymore. So they would, all right, so, so they wouldn't want to fight anymore, but their confidence would peak. So now they would be more confident and wanting to heal the situation. All right, they would probably take action a lot swifter, a lot faster, and they would want to achieve something here, okay? So they would really focus on healing this situation. That's really a big thing here. So it says the time has come to get everything your ancestors were denied. So they would want some type of commitment. They would want to like stabilize this situation. With a change in wind, that means that they would like to break down. It's like a tower moment. They'd like to break down whatever foundation you guys had before and rebuild it even better than before. It says, are you going through something confusing and uncertain? They would, yeah, so they would be confused because they would want to say something. They would want to communicate clearly to you, and they would want to fix the situation. They would want to say something to you confidently, very boldly, and maybe overly critical or overly skeptical. So they might want to make you think twice, like, is that what you want to do? Are you happy? Do they love you? Do they care about you? Did you even care about me? Like, they would try to confuse you because we got the Seven of Swords here, but they would think on this very long. Like, they would do a lot of deep soul searching if they seen you with somebody else. They would be a bit distant though, and they would try to give off a front like they're not super bothered, or like it doesn't bother them. Because when I seen Capricorn, I automatically thought stoic. You know what I mean? And Virgo, they put off a good poker face. You don't really know that they're bothered. So this would be like a person who would really act like they're not bothered. And with the Sagittarius energy, and Gemini energy, they'd act all free spirited and act like they're really enjoying themselves. Like they're like they don't even see you. Like like you didn't even exist. They would just pretend like the rest of the day is going on. They don't even see you, but deep down they would be thinking about what could they say to sway you over, because this would be like a change in the dynamic. This probably is something that's never happened. So this would cause them to be more like authentic, because you got the solar plexus here. So this would cause them to be more authentic. So you might be confused in this dynamic. You might be wondering what's going on or what's happening, and that's probably by design, or it might not be by design, but I would think because of these signs being very smart, very analytical, that this was probably by design, that this dynamic went this way. So by you getting with someone else, or you being with someone else, or them even seeing you with someone else, would encourage them to want to step up and change the dynamic and really, put forth some type of effort or some type of best foot forward. But initially they would fluctuate between trying to manipulate you to get back into this situation, or they would really do some type of deep soul searching and then come out clearly. But it would still be a manipulation, because they'd just be trying to win you over while at the same time acting as if they don't miss you. You know what I mean? So they won't want to be super vulnerable, but they do want to be vulnerable enough, because they wouldn't want to fight anymore. They would want to put their swords down, like, hey, you done crossed the line now. You're doing too much. I just thought you was out having fun. I didn't think you was gonna love him. What is you doing? You know what I mean? And if it was her, she not having that. She about to pull up on you. You know what I mean? She gonna figure out how she gonna step to you and say something, because she ain't with that. She don't like that. But she gonna pretend like she don't care, but she gonna care, and she gonna probably say something later on down the line. And it's gonna be in a way that's gonna try to maybe confuse you to think that maybe what you're doing isn't the right way. And the same thing for him. They're gonna say it in such a slick way that's going to make you feel like maybe it's going to make you maybe have an energy of self-doubt, like maybe this isn't the right one. Maybe they will change. Maybe this situation will go how I want it to go, because that's their intent. They want to achieve they want to push forward and show you reliability and stability, and they want to show you their morals and their values then. All right, that's probably the change. They probably might change their morals and their values, because what they're working through, it says the time has come to get everything your ancestors were denied. And I think of it as being like generational, not curse, but we can call them curses, but generational patterns, and breaking them. And with Capricorn, this is about achieving, but it's usually about traditional values. But you got healing. So they would be healing some type of value, and there's a change in the wind, so they would be changing some type of values or some type of belief systems that they have. Would be, they would be knocking that down, like, okay, maybe I was wrong, maybe I was tripping, let's try again. You know what I mean? That's pretty much it. They were like, I was tripping, let's laugh it off, let's try again. You know, this not the guy for you. This not the girl for you. You know, like, what are you thinking? That's how the vibe is. It's like, come on, I don't want to fight no more. Come on, let's hug, let's hug. You're being simple. Come on, you're taking it overboard. That's how they would come. They would be very confident and very, very bold, but very critical of your decision making. Like, that's what you want, or they were like, is that what you like? You know what I mean? This your boy? You know what I mean? He might however he may say to you, but they're gonna come off very free spirited and bold and very like skeptical or like, you know, judgy. You know what I mean? And at the same time, acting as if they don't care. You know, which is really confusing because that's what this is all about. So it would be like a smoke screen in a sense because they really would want to heal the situation. This person probably doesn't want to let you go, but you got to step up and lead right in the middle. So they would step up and lead to heal the situation. So they would put forth some real effort. And it's funny to me because that's what they would do. They would they would put up some real effort. Okay. So if this is somebody who you wanted to win over or who was maybe you were crushing on and you guys haven't really made any ground, if they seen you with somebody else, they would be like, hold on. I think I like you. I think I like you. And that's kind of funny, but that's just how people are. This person could be someone who acts like their mother or acts like their father. They'd be healing that aspect and they'd be realizing that they're free to choose and make their own beliefs, and they would come into the most authentic version of themselves. They become more they would become more of a planner. They would start planning stuff for you guys. Like, they would be very, very very observant of the details and the things that you care about, because Virgo is a sign of needs, and Sagittarius and Virgo, they're actually signs of needs. They fulfill a desire. They fulfill like a giving. So Sagittarius, even though it's not necessarily like a nurturer, they're someone who gives information. So they want to see you grow. They want to see you expand. No matter what happens, they want to see this become something larger than what it was. And Virgo is about taking the practical steps to do it. So whenever you have something that's Sagittarius based, you definitely want a Virgo or a Gemini energy to it. Gemini works more pleasant with it, but so does Virgo, because they're ruled by the same planet, Mercury, right? But you know what it is that Sagittarius recognize the big picture. I can see that we could be married. I can see that we could be boyfriend, girlfriend. I can see that we could be committed. That's the big picture. But the minor steps are what it takes to get there, like truth, honesty, you know, our loyalty, our beliefs, you know, maybe our financial backing, maybe our emotional standing, you know what I mean, or maybe our psychological standing. These things are the minute pieces that you need with the Virgo. So they would be paying attention to the smaller, finer details that matter in the relationship. So probably the things that matter to you at the time, having to do with your needs, they would be very servicing. Like, they would service those needs. They would make sure to provide for those needs. Okay, because they don't want to lose you. That's the vibe I get from this. They wouldn't want to lose you. You know what I mean? They would break, this would help them break generational curses and patterns to see you with someone else. Okay? So here's your advice. Prayer. Dear guardian angel, help me dissolve past guilt or regret. Help me see that all is always in perfect and divine order. Help me to let go of the fear that I project on my future. Help me to live fully within each precious moment and feel your eternal love within and around me. Help me to realize and fulfill my true potential. Thank you. So let's go over the signs again. We got Sagittarius, Virgo, Capricorn, Gemini, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo again. All right. So power one, that was your reading. Thanks for watching. This your boy Noonie, and it's Leo in the third house. They crazy. Boom. Pile two. So, pile two. What would happen if they seen you out with someone else? Oh, you would break their heart. They would be heartbroken. Okay? All right, so this could be a Cancer, a Gemini, a Leo, a Cancer, a Aries, okay. But they're kind of similar, but not quite, all right? So they would kind of do the same similar energy, but not quite, all right? So, oh, they fantasize about you though. So wet dreams about you. All right, and they would be very self-critical of themselves. Okay. So this could be someone who you may have power struggles with, like, back and forth. Might have been hard to compromise with. So this person would feel like this is an opportunity for growth. It would break their heart, though. All right, it would break their heart, because they would intuitively know that this was meant to happen, in a sense. Like, they would know, like, oh wait, because a lot of things were happening here. There's a lot of things. So all right, so one, they would want to communicate that they can see your side of the story. Like, they can understand how what you were saying is right or how you're feeling is right. They can see both sides. All of a sudden, it becomes fair. An understanding of you and your needs and personal values and wanting to be family and struggling and trying to weigh the pros and cons. Suddenly, they would want to communicate about you leaving them outside or them feeling left out in the cold, like outside of your community, feeling, like you just put them out there. They would want to communicate about their spiritual gifts. If I don't know, I guess that's how they would get you talking about spiritual gifts. All right. They would want to talk about their spiritual gifts or your spiritual gifts. All right. They would basically communicate about how they made so many mistakes, and how they can change how you see them. Because this is third eye chakra. Third eye chakra is about perception. And they would want to communicate about your perception. They would possibly want to communicate about their spiritual gifts or your spiritual gifts. Or maybe they want to tell you that they have spiritual gifts and they recognize that they have spiritual gifts. They would want to do something like that. But they would get back, they would start reflecting back to you. They would give you this humble energy. They would want to be humble and really relaxed, and they would really want to express their emotions. This is someone who probably had trouble expressing their emotions because we got square with the moon, which is a difficulty expressing emotions, but it's also a difficulty working through feelings. So they would probably have difficulty working through their feelings. All right, like, it would definitely break their heart, because look at this square. It's broken in half. So they would definitely break their heart, okay? Sad. And they would recognize that this was an opportunity for growth, and then they would take it, okay? So that would be great. They will humble themselves. Now they would be ready to grow and evolve and become something better than they ever became, because that's what square represents. It's muscle training. It's strength training for wherever it lands. Wherever you're having a square at, whatever house it's in, it's strength training to learn new lessons, to come into a newer form and new understanding, new skill sets. All right. So that's what they would do. They would definitely evolve and grow up. Okay. So that would be, I guess, something good for you. But they would also understand how both of what you guys were saying can be true. How nobody has to be a victim or how nobody has to be a victor. So they would be able to see both sides of the fence. They would understand what you were saying, and they were seeing how what they were saying and how you both could have been right. All right. So they would recognize that. But they would also want to communicate about you leaving them or cutting them off because you got declutter here. And they would definitely speak about making so many mistakes, and they want to change the perception. They would want to change how you see them. They would want to work some type of community. They would want to give to you. The actions they would take was they would try to give to you now. They would want to give you Six of Pentacles. They would take a risk. It's got the Fool, the Page of Coins in reverse, the Six of Pentacles upright, and the Three of Coins, which means that they would want to work with you now. They would want to compromise with you now. They would want to show you their best talents and best gifts and best skill sets now. Three of Pentacles can also be an apprentice. So they would want to listen to what you have to say now. You serious? This is what people play. This is the game we play. Because even I play it sometimes. So I'm not even going to act like I'm above it. But I'm just saying, is that really the game that people play? Yes, it is. And sometimes it be so fun. And then other times when it's not going in our direction or going in our favor, man, fuck this shit. I don't want to play no more. And that's how it be. Can we be honest about that for a brief second? Just for a brief second. We don't have to be honest all day long, but just for this 2 seconds, let's just be honest that sometimes when the dynamic isn't in our favor, we don't want to play no more. And I'll be okay with that. I understand that. I got a Libra moon. I understand both sides. I get it. But anyway, so they would realize that they have emotional codependency because of something from their past. So they would want to heal too. This would make them want to heal too. You know what I mean? Because they would want to heal that feeling of fear of intimacy. Because community in reverse can also be a fear of intimacy. I also think about it as being someone for the community. So they would possibly stop being someone for the community. They would recognize that and they would declutter. So if they had hoes, had bros, they would get rid of them. They gone. All right? because they were like, oh no, they think of you as a teddy bear. They think of you as someone who can handle them when they're hot or handle them when they're being very fiery, because you got cup, and I think a coffee cup holds in hot contents like tea, coffee. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking of them as you being someone who can handle them being very hot or being very fiery. You can easily hold them or easily temper them or cool them off. So it says, who do you need to reconnect with? Is it yourself? So they would definitely try to reconnect with themselves. They would get over this fear of intimacy or this fear of maybe even rejection, because I wanted to say rejection. So maybe it's a fear of rejection that they would get over, because they would feel like they missed an opportunity with this page of coins in reverse. And so they would want to take a leap, but they wouldn't have it really planned out. They would just hope that they can give you gifts and be fair and give you charity and give you stuff that you didn't even know that you needed, in order to show you that you're valued, or that you're appreciated. They would want to be more cooperative. They would want to be more cooperative. They would recognize that everything that they've done up until this point led them to where you are, or where you guys were, or where you guys are. So this is a person now who would want to see your side of the fence and, want to, I guess, negotiate, or maybe not negotiate, but they would want to be a lot humbler now. Now they would want to, temper themselves down and be a little bit more meek. They wouldn't be treating you like an option, because this seems like someone who maybe was for the community, or someone who just is afraid of letting people get closer to them. They don't like intimacy. So this would make them heal. This would make them get into their femininity, which could be male, even if they're male, which more likely they are, right? This would make them get more into their femininity. They may have an issue with that, you know what I mean? And this would be someone who starts reflecting. They would start reflecting and thinking back, or, thinking back to the times that you guys had, and it would be an issue seeing it, as a growth, as an opportunity for growth. But they would recognize that this is a moment that I need to be humble and fix this situation, you know what I mean? And really weigh the pros and cons of what I'm doing, because something's going on right now, you know what I mean? So they would become more self-aware. You'd wake them up, basically, and you would wake them up to what your needs are. Now they would be aware of what your needs are. And they would be aware that they've been very codependent on a past trauma that happened to them, and they're still holding it and lingering and bringing it into the future with them. So that would become aware of them. So you would be helping them heal how they see themselves in the world, and you would help them process listening when you communicate, because this is the third eye chakra, which is also a part of processing emotions. So it allows you to process your emotions, and it allows you to process what other people are giving to you. So it's like other people's emotions. So it's like if other people are sharing with you, you can, it's not necessarily sympathizing, but you can understand it. You can get where they're coming from. You can see through it. You can see whether it's true or false. Like you naturally pick up whether this is a true statement or a false statement. So they would all of a sudden become clear with their own inner voice about what's going on here. They would find their own inner guidance. That's what will go on here. This would wake this person up a whole lot. They would find their own inner guidance. All right, this could be somebody from like your childhood, or from like your community, or you guys once lived around each other, or once lived together, because the community here is like a house, like, you know what I mean? So something like that. But they would definitely want to give you gifts and show you their best talents and show you everything that they really have to offer, and they would want to take a risk now. They would really want to be very impulsive, or very, very passionate and like determined to make something happen, even without a plan. They would, even if they put in their eggs, they would recognize like, yo, I might even put my eggs in the wrong basket, but they'd be willing to take this risk. Like, yo, I know this is impractical, but whatever. I know this doesn't make sense for me to do this, but I got to do what I got to do. And that's what they would do. That's what they would do. That's exciting. Isn't that like a soap opera? Here's your advice. Self-confidence. We are angels. Ask you to please be more compassionate towards yourself. Observe the times when you have critical thoughts about you, and make an effort to replace these negative thoughts with positive, loving ones. You are a wondrous being of light, even if at times you think you are less than perfect. Remember that God and divine perfection exist in all things. So, here's the signs. We got Cancer, Leo, Cancer, Gemini, Aries, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I'm sorry. So, and that was it. So we do got Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Aries, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Cancer again. Okay. So, pile 2. That was your reading. Thanks for watching. This your boy Noonie, and this Leo in the third house. Boom, pile 3. So, pile 3. What would happen if they seen you out with someone else? So you could be dealing with a Capricorn, could be dealing with a Libra, could be dealing with a Leo, could be dealing with a Taurus. Could be dealing with a Virgo, or you could be these signs. Could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Oh, but they would miss you. And the way you touched them. Oh, they would spy on you. Okay, they would spy on you. Yep. They would spy on you. They would spy on you because this would hurt. This would hurt, right? And they would go into like creating all these scenarios in their head of what they think is happening. So they would go into like, what's it called? Psychic overload, where they would start thinking that they know all these things that you're doing. So they would just imagine like, she's probably out there in Colorado with that boy, you know what I mean? Or he's probably at his baby mom house, or he's probably at his girl house, or he's at that new girl house, or you know what I mean? Like they would just start like picturing where you were at, all right? This is a person who would feel like, they would be hurt and they would try to get over that, but they would still be holding on to some type of resentment, and they might express it to you, all right? Or they might still try to offer you some type of love or emotion, or they might acknowledge that you broke their heart, which, you know, might be a rarity here, all right? But they might acknowledge that you broke their heart. But, excuse me, but this would encourage them to be free. They'd want to take inspired action, because that's what it says. Inspired action. They would have a choice to make here, okay? And then because we got Capricorn and Libra energy next to each other, I'm going to say that they're going to try to be a mediator. They're going to try to peacefully resolve this situation, and they're going to be dedicated. And you have Virgo energy here too, so they're going to want to be of service. And with the Leo energy here, they're going to want to be a leader to you. They're going to want to lead this situation. So they're going to take inspired action to try to lead this situation. Yep. But it says, don't trust everything you see. Even salt looks like sugar. So they're going to lead you astray. You know, this would encourage this. So this person really is rooted in sex, all right? Because we got sacral chakra here. So it's more so rooted in attraction or aggression, all right? Because sacral chakra, sometimes when it's low or when it's imbalanced, you become aggressive. So they could be dealing with aggression and dealing with distortion or illusions. You know what I mean? Fantasy. You know, because you got the third eye chakra here. So they could just be being aggressive and being, delusional, all right? Because that's what it would really pretty much be, because they would just want to be like macho and try to like smooth the situation over, try to find a way to balance it out. You know, I mean, they would want to be more genuine and charming, you know, and try to take the lead on the situation and be very persistent and show up when you need them and pick you. They would make sure that they made a choice now, and now they would be more committed to the choice. You know, they would be very, very enthusiastic about the choice. They would want to, you know, really get into their personal power. This would inspire them to go after what they really want, because your sacral chakra is about going after your desires. It's about attracting them, pulling them in, magnetizing them. So they would want to really pull you into them. All right, they would want to get over this feeling, because it would hurt. It would hurt, and they might acknowledge that it would hurt. All right. Because it says, are you looking out for yourself from someone? Oh, are you looking out for yourself from someone's psychological and emotional harm towards you? So someone's been playing emotional and mind games with you. And so this is you like taking your power back, pretty much. You'd be taking your power back if you did this. And they would feel powerless, all right? They would try to detach. They would try to detach, because we got life sometimes stings. So they would try to detach from it, you know, but it would definitely feel like an arrow through the heart. It would definitely feel like you killed them. It's not funny, but it's funny, because that's like dramatic. Like they would feel like you killed them, because we even got the Ten of Swords here as their action. You know what I mean? As their action. So they would definitely call it an end, but they would be okay with the ending, but they're not going to be okay with the ending, because you got the Four of Swords here too in reverse. So they would definitely be thinking about this. This would be on their mind, and like I said, they would be like overactive, like, yo, this joker really did this. This girl really did this. this guy really did this. I can't believe. Like, they would be mad on my mama. They'd be mad. I'm telling you. So they would be so mad. That's so funny. It's not funny, but it is funny. Like, they would try to be sensible all of a sudden. That's what really gets me. Like, because I'm, like I said, I'm a Capricorn. I have a Libra moon, so I'll be thinking about this. It turns them into like, and I'm not saying this is me, but maybe, but what I'm saying is, like, they would try to be like a business person, like a businessman, a businesswoman. They would try to be sensible, like, hey, look, kind of like the other piles, but this one they would be like more genuine. They would be like more, like loose. They wouldn't be as harsh or like critical. They would be like, well, what do you need? Like, like they would try to figure out where's the middle ground. How do we balance this out? But it would all just be an illusion. This would be an illusion because I think they would just be worried about losing. Because they would be worried about it. They'd be like, I missed that ass. I missed the way you teach me. I wish the way you touch me. So maybe you teach them something. Because they would miss the way you teach them. And it says, I keep up with your business through mutual friends and family. So you must have friends. I think social media, so you might have friends and family, or you have friends and family that are around the way. But they would be so hurt, so butthurt. This would feel like an ultimate betrayal. The ultimate betrayal. If they see you with somebody else. Because how dare you? Yo, people are a trip, man. They petty. But they would definitely find more courage and more energy, and they would definitely get on the good ball, on the good foot. If that's what you would want, they would get on the good foot. But it says don't trust everything you see. So this would only be for a limited time. So if you just wanted to have fun, play on, player. You know what I mean? So let me tell you a story one time. Cause I think about this. They might try to give you like materials and stuff and buy you stuff and. They would give you, I think they would give you money because I'm looking at second house resources and I'm looking at Capricorn, the boss, the CEO. So they would definitely try to like big willy it and be like I said, like a businessman or a businesswoman. They would try to, gift, almost like Power 2, kind of gift you. But this one would be like, they would like try to win you over. Like, what's up? Like, I know they're not going to probably say that these people aren't doing you right. They're going to be worried that you guys are just doing all this grand stuff and really like living life and experiencing life, and they don't want that. They don't want you to be all stable and loved up and hugged up and all that stuff. They don't want that. So they're just imagining them doing all stuff. So maybe they might even imagine like sexual stuff. Cause I'm looking at the looks like an octopus, and I always think of an octopus as like legs being all over, like in the bedroom, whatever. But I was just thinking that like they probably overthink, like he's touching all over her, she's touching all over him, or they just probably just. They just be letting their mind go because the Four Swords and Imagine in Reverse is usually about overactive thinking, suffering psych attacks. They would think about this nonstop. It would be on their mind nonstop after they seen you with somebody. They wouldn't make no action, but they would just be spying and looking and getting as much information as they could, and they'd be just mad and maybe probably trying to be petty in some way, maybe talk about you on social media, maybe talk about you to friends, because the Page of Swords can sometimes be a gossiper too. So they probably gossip about how you betrayed them, how you let them down, how you backstabbed them, how they couldn't trust you, how you've been doing this to them over and over again. They would like, woo, you would have took them out. Good grief, you would have thought you killed somebody. Because they would feel like your opinion matters to them. And they would feel like they had no choice but to like win you over, like to go after you. They would feel like they have no choice. You know what I mean? They would be wanting to play now. Now they would want to like really be loose and like I said, like they want to be sensible now, but they would like want to play. They want to whatever way gets you back into this grasp is what they want to do. All right, whatever way would have got you back up under the thumb is what they would have wanted to do. All right, and that's why it says don't trust everything you see. Even salt looks like sugar, because that's what they would do. They would just try to do whatever they could to win you, so that way they could win the situation. 'Cause that's what it feels like. It just feels like they would want to win the situation and not necessarily please you. You know what I mean? But this would give them a sense of being free, meaning that they would feel free to really go after what it is that they want. So this would change their perception on the things that they want. So maybe that's something different, because maybe they think that they could be free, they can just do what they want to do. I guess I don't know. But this person. Right now, this person sees things they would see things in a different way if they see you with somebody else. It would inspire them to clean their act up, all right? Clean their whole mess up, to get right and look at this situation with new, fresh eyes. You know what I mean? They would trust their instincts then, and they wouldn't play no games with you. So, yeah. This could have been a person who's very self-indulgent or very selfish, so, or more focused on themselves, So that's that. But they would miss the way that you touched them. They would miss out. They would miss that ass. They said, and they would keep their eye. They would just be spying like a mug, and just be stressing in their head like, "Whew, what's she doing? What he doing? They tripping. Why they ain't hit me back yet? Like why would they be with them? I can't believe them. It'd be bad. This one would be the pile where they would fall apart. All right, so be gentle if you do. All right. Anyway, let me go over to. Let me give you advice. Eternity. Gently move your awareness from the eternal world to a world of light within your heart. Allow each breath to heal you as you drift to a place beyond time. Eternity exists within you, forever sparkling like a diamond. You are, in essence, a shining star, forever transforming to ever greater light. So let's go over signs one more time. We got Capricorn, Libra, Leo, Taurus, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, Virgo. All right. So, pile 3, that was your reading. Thanks for watching. This your boy Noonie, and that's Leo in the 3rd house. Boom. Pile 4. So, pile 4. What would happen if they seen you out with someone else? Okay, so it could be a Virgo. Could be a Capricorn. Could be a Gemini. Could be a Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. Oh, buddy. Yo, I don't know who. Yo, listen. Y'all, all these piles, right? People are really funny. This is so funny. I guess it's just human nature. And I'm not even going to say I guess, because this just seems to be the pattern. That everybody all of a sudden would want to do right. They would want to communicate all of a sudden. But this one is a little bit different. Because they would want to start the pattern and cycle all over again. But I'm gonna explain, the difference here. Like they would have more of a clear intention about where they want to go with it. All right, because here it says, let me prove to you that I did change. And then you have the Knight of Swords going towards that. The 9 of Swords is ahead of it, at top of it, right? And the 9 of Swords in this case is upright too. So they would be thinking about this, obsessing about this, obsessing about this brand new beginning, these brand new opportunities that can happen, But anyway, if this happened, this would be the action that they would want to take. Those were the actions that they would want to take. They would want to rush in and tell you, I've changed, you know what I mean? Because it would be like a deep obsession, and how this is worrying me, this is costing me so much grief. We need a new beginning. We need a new start. This is what they would want to do. These are their actions. But this is what would happen if they were to see you with someone else. So if they were to see you out with someone else, they would definitely be going with the flow, putting on a facade of, having a good time, because we got the trine here. So they would just be very easygoing, very chill, easy, even tempered. They would be very positive, maybe even overindulge. So if you guys are like out at a bar or somewhere, they might be drinking a little bit. They might if they're smoking or something, they might over smoke, or they would feel like this was like they were meant to see you. You know what I mean? And they would put on this facade as if they know their worth. You know what I mean? As if they were more beneficial to you than you to them. All right, but this would still be difficult because they would have to put on a role of being comfortable and at peace, right? Yet still in between worlds. So this might be someone like you might have just left, or you were leaving, or like you guys are like friends with benefits, because in between worlds in reverse. So they would be like that energy of them still feeling like a grayness or like a vagueness to it. Like maybe you guys were just together, or we was just there. You know what I mean? So they would like have to try to like temper themselves. Like they would do a good job of it, but it would probably cause them a lot of fury, because we got semi-square and quincunx. And quincunx is about not being able to get those two needs met. It's like having opposite needs, and neither one of them neither one of them really want the same thing. So it's like trying to find a middle ground. So it's like, they want maybe to be like, show that they're independent and that they're confident and that they don't need you. But at the same time, they would want to build something. They would want some type of routine. So I feel like maybe it's a routine that you guys had, because it's like they would want to repair a routine. So maybe you guys have already dealt this, but they would want to leave the past behind, and they would want you to think it through. You know what I mean? They would want to encourage new ideas. Oh, look, we got negotiation. So they would want to negotiate. All right. They would want to be very supportive, very expansive. All right. They would recognize your value. That's what would happen. All of a sudden, you become this $1 million woman or $1 million man to them, and they all of a sudden recognize that you're valuable, that you're somebody. Go figure, right? That you're somebody. Okay? It says happiness is not one big thing. It's all the little things put together. So, and then I remember how I was just thinking in this last pile, because just the Gemini energy here with tension, with semi-square and a quincunx. Gemini energy would be a good energy to handle a quincunx, because of like the versatility of Gemini energy, of them being able to handle multiple things at once, and complexity. And a quincunx is a complex angle, because it's not quite opposition, and it's more than a square. It's a square and a semi-square together. So it's like three squares. Well, it's like, it could be looked at as like three sextiles, which would be like, they're still helping you grow, because they are, in theory, because you're balancing out a part of yourself that you didn't really know that you had or needed to like bring to the light, is what a quincunx pretty much is. But anyway, with this energy, with Gemini being able to understand complexity, they would, you guys would be either they or them, you, whoever, they would pretty much understand, like, okay, there's a way to fix this. They would understand this, and they would want to leave the past behind and negotiate. Let's renegotiate new terms. Let's look at this all over again. Let's try to be fair. But they would want to find some way that this could work for both people. Because sustainability is about something that you don't have to keep building on. It just takes care of itself. So they would like to find a way where you guys could to build something that takes care of itself, where you guys don't have to keep adding into it. But it would increase this level of intimacy, because that's what they would want. All right. They may have felt before that it was too good to be true. But I guess this would help them feel like this situation could only get better, because they would want to repair a routine, or repair a schedule, or repair, because Virgo is about, sustainability. 6th house is about, the daily routines, checkups, health, confidence, what I mean? But here it looks like she's just trying to find peace, what I mean? So it's something like that. Like that's what they would be trying to find peace. They were trying to find this in between, because they would be like, fogged up, like, oh man, she just messed my head up, or he dude just messed my head up, like what they thinking right now, what I mean? So they would want to go on their instincts and try to find a way to start this all over again, because they would be worrying about this, they'd be stressing about this, they would want to evolve this situation. They'd be thinking about, how can I evolve this situation, how can I make this situation grow? Because that's what they would want, because the trine is here. So they would want to make this situation grow. But initially, they would just try to act like, you don't bother me. I don't care about this. I don't care about home girl. I don't care about bro, whatever. But they would, at night, when they go home, they'd be sad, super sad. They'd be staying up all night, thinking about where can they take this. And then they would want to prove to you that they changed. They'd want to prove to you that they changed. I'm not the same guy. I'm not the same girl. You don't know me like that no more. I'm new. Let me show you. That's what they would want to do. That's what it says here. Let me prove to you that I changed. That's what they would want to do. Knight of Swords, 9 of Swords. They would just be thinking about this so long. It'd be obsessive. They wouldn't be able to sleep, because they can't let you get away. You know what I mean? They would be determined. And then they would be very beneficial to you. And they would give you, benefits. They would be very, they would recognize your value, because nobody else is supposed to have you. No, that's it. That's what they would know. That's what they would do. They would follow their instincts. Like I think of instinct, I think of Lucky Charms. They would follow their nose to the end of the rainbow. That's what they would do, pretty much. Because they would be like, look, man, we need to negotiate. We need to work this out, because they've gotten used to you. That's what it is. They've gotten used to you. So 6th house is that routine. So they've gotten used to you. Yeah. And so there's that in between transition that they don't want. They don't want that. So just letting you know. Here's your advice, though, because they would definitely want to let themselves experience more joy and happiness with you. They would become, because the solar plexus is here. That means that the real them would come out. All right, there would be no more hiding and, being on the fence. The real them would come out. Okay, so yeah. Here's your advice though: gratitude. Thank you. This is a heartfelt thank you from someone who you recently helped in some way. I, your guardian angel, also wish to thank you for the unconditional love you emanate to the earth, humanity, and those around you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are eternally blessed. May peace, grace, and love forever guide you along your sacred path. And then we have trust. Trust. You are looking at a situation from a purely physical perspective, and therefore you cannot see the bigger picture and the blessings interwoven within this situation. We, your angels, urge you to trust, for all will work out in the best way possible. Let go of your fear and apprehension and allow God's healing energy to flow to you. Trust, for all will heal in ways you never thought possible. So let's go over the signs again. We have Virgo, Capricorn, Gemini, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, and that is it. Yep, this would cause them to. It says, are you suppressing your shadow side instead of accepting it and healing it? Yeah, they would see this from a higher perspective. This is like the third eye chakra. They would all of a sudden see this more clearly. They would recognize, like, they would want to heal this situation though, but this would expose, the parts of them that weren't being authentic. That's it. They would be the true them, the true they. Okay? So, Pile 4, that was your reading. Thanks for watching. This your boy Noonie, and it's Leo in the third house.